2026, July 2nd, 2026, 7:30. Ms. White, I'm gonna call the roll. Ms. White?
Present.
Mr. Porche?
Present.
Mr. Brown?
Present.
Helms?
Present.
Ms. Gasper?
Present.
Mr. Crowley's present. Mr. Timmons? Here. Ms. Watkins?
Present.
Mr. McQuillan?
Present.
Mr. O'Hare?
Present.
All right, let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we come to you with hearts filled with gratitude and humility. And we ask your blessing on these proceedings as we seek to serve public trust, all of the people in all. Remind us that in your word, in the book of Peter, tell us whatever gifts we have should be used to serve others. We ask you to bless the employees of this town and the grounds we stand on, ecosystems we live in. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Brown has the civility pledge.
So this is civility pledge for the town of Allendale. I pledge to build a stronger and more prosperous community by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of our town of Allendale.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Under the motion, the approval of the July agenda.
Motion to approve.
We have discussion. Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Carried unanimously. Our next item is to approve the previous meeting minutes. We've got a public hearing, a regular meeting on June 4th, and then a special call meeting on June 18th. I'd love to hear a motion to approve all of these minutes.
Motion to approve all the minutes from June 4th, public hearing, regular meeting, and June 18th, special call meeting.
There's a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hallelujah. Unanimous. Let's see, Ms. Watkins is has our new third-party accounting firm, CKH Group. Mr. Kyle Heel and Ms. Hasbrock. Are they here with us virtually?
They are. Ms. Hasbrock was not able to attend, so we do have Bill Webb and have Zoom. Can you guys hear us?
Yes, ma'am, we can. Thank you.
Yeah, so we did engage in a third-party accounting firm. So they will be handling all of the town's reconciliations, and they'll be assisting with the town audit. They'll also be handling London rules, and they would like to introduce themselves virtually. They will be on site on July 9th. If anybody would like to stop by and say hi.
Great, so who's speaking for them? Who is it that's spoke up on the Zoom?
Hey, sir, my name is Bill Webb. I appreciate your time, Mr. Mayor, Council. I'm our head of government accounting at CKH Group. We're headquartered out of Atlanta. Our government accounting manager, Mr. Kyle Hale, he runs our Hawkinsville, Georgia office. We have many clients in South Carolina, so working predominantly remotely is not new for us. We greatly appreciate the opportunity to serve the town, and I'll give Kyle an opportunity to introduce himself and talk a little bit about the work that we'll be performing on behalf of the town. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Kyle, are you there?
I am. Good evening, Mayor and Council. First off, I'd just like to, thank you for the opportunity for us as CKH Group to assist the town. I look forward to working along with the town's members as we assist the town in getting you ready for 2025 audit and working closely with Ms. Watkins with other accounting functions that may be needed. I do look forward to being on site on Thursday, July 9th, as we get the engagement kicked off, and I look forward to working with everybody.
Very good. Well, we were certainly looking for you, and we're glad to have met you and know that you can help us with our bookkeeping and transparency. And it's good to have a third party helping us take care of people's money. Are there any questions or comments from council? Yes, Ms. Helms.
So they're only helping with like reconciliation. We still will have some sort of bookkeeper doing checks, payroll, that sort of thing. So they're doing it on a monthly basis. And they'll
Yes.
provide the financial statements that count for council meetings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the introduction of the CKH group is going to be is going to change the way we get reports. We expect to get a real financial support and report like you want. All right, so anything further on that? Well, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for working with us. Thanks for helping us with our audit and getting our reconciliation. We're looking forward to developing a relationship over time. And we will see you on July 9th, on Thursday, July 9th.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, if you're following along with your playbook, we're on number 9 presentations. We Kevin Brook, the Chief Operating Officer from Charleston Habitat for Humanity. Is Mr. Brooks present? Pardon me? Okay, are you here to speak for him or are you just know that? Yes. All right, well, okay.
So he can be on the August agenda.
Yes.
Okay.
I did not know that. So eventually, Mr. Brooks is gonna come and talk to us about affordable housing in our town. There's a piece of property at the end of Axville Road that is set aside for affordable housing. And we'll be discussing what the opportunities are through Charleston Habitat for Humanity. Moving on, Charleston County, we have the sheriff's office is here. Give us your report. Everybody, we know that you tell you.
Sergeant Johnson from the Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant Turner is out. He'll be out probably another month or 2 months, doing some rehab. He had shoulder surgery and foot surgery, so he's kind of walking sideways. But he should be back, I think, August, September. Some numbers for the area up here, weapon checks were 2, a weapons incident was 1, vandalism 6, and I think that includes the park or the lot that you folks keep having issues with. Unwanted person was 4, trespassing was 8, traffic stops were 53. 8 theft reports. Shots fired were 2. 291 proactive patrol logs, meaning the deputies went around, drove down neighborhoods or streets that aren't very well patrolled, logged them through our CAD system and made a presence if somebody was there to be able to see. A missing person was 1, mental health were 5. Harassment were 2, 4 follow-ups, 7 DUIs in the area. 11 disturbances. 11 animal calls, 14 alarm calls, agency assists were 12, and that was either fire, EMS, forestry, or DNR. Administrator was 4, 19 car accidents were reported from last meeting for this meeting. And then 39 911 calls were handled in this area. Just to highlight the shots fired call. That was on 6/25. And He was on Seaview Road. In the area, that 5700 block of Seaview Road. So. It was regarding to a prior incident and when officers left. The individual that was not happy just went outside and started shooting a gun and they had to return. For that previous call. That was a shots fired call. The area of 5700 block of Seaview Road. Then. The other one. Was in the 3700 block of North Highway 17. No injuries reported by either incident. And that's a snapshot of the activity from last meeting to this meeting. Give you folks a little quick snippet. The detectives are still working on some video footage. And trying to figure out who the person is or people that keep doing it, damage to the property. And that's all we got.
All right, thanks for that. Any questions?
Any questions with us?
As far as the traffic accidents.
Yes.
What's the range from like Mount Pleasant to Belleville or how far is it?
So for this report, it is from the Allendale line. So just north of Mount Pleasant, all the way to Georgetown. So that encompasses that whole area. Georgetown.
Oh, so it encompasses past now, okay.
Yes, ma'am. So yeah, so it goes from Allendale all the way to Georgetown, from the north of Mount Pleasant to the County Line Road.
How many thefts did you say to?
8.
8, are those like in a specific area?
So that includes, so the 8 thefts are either personal property theft, meaning somebody took a 4-wheeler, somebody took a purse, or a vehicle theft. So
And is that spread across that?
it's spread.
That's
Now, we can narrow it down to kind of give you a better snippet is in regards to where the incidents are predominantly taking place between Allendale and Gronville versus just the whole area. So we can look at that again tomorrow and for next meeting. So the next meeting, hopefully I can have it on a PDF or a slide deck and be able to shoot it to you so you guys can see exactly where these things are taking place at. I think that'd also be better for you and of course the citizens to kind of give you all an idea to actually see where stuff's happening versus not. And at any point in time, if you feel the need, or if you have people that are buying property next to you, where you're just curious of your street you live on, you can always contact the 911 center on Palmetto Commerce. And you can always say, I would like a call history for the 4000 block of Seaview Road. I want, you can make it broad, you can narrow it down. And what they'll do is they'll give you a report. If there's no activity, they'll say, hey, that street is quiet as a mouse, or they'll give you, hey, we've only had 5 calls in the last 15 years or the last 10 years, and these are what the calls are. So that kind of gives people a snapshot of what's actually taking place in your front yard.
Very good. Well, Sergeant, lastly, can you give us any instructions on how to behave around this big holiday coming around?
Have fun, be safe, if you're gonna drive. Or if you're gonna have fun and drink, make sure you have a designated driver keeping the boat. And you're gonna have liquor, alcohol on the boat, make sure you have somebody that's not gonna drink or on the boat. If you have a designated boater, you can drive and as well as driving a motor vehicle. It's hot. We know what alcohol does. It doesn't hydrate you. We all think it does, but it doesn't. So just be mindful of that. If you see something that does not look right, please call. There's gonna be a tremendous amount of law enforcement between the county, the state, and the feds. With the forestry out and about, so if you see something that doesn't look right, please call and let us address it and go from there, keep everybody safe.
Right.
And don't eat too much.
So let's check.
So as of right now, knock on wood, Cause there are none. But for you, if there is one, I'll let you know where it's not at, so that you come through one where we are at. And just a side note, the sheriff's office, in conjunction with the electric company, co-op, we now have that substation back up there. And then, for deputies to go in and use, outside of the working hours. And then, of course, we still utilize the kind of folks at the fire department, so. Any questions for us, that need to be looked into or addressed?
We'll let you know as soon as we have. Thank you, Sergeant Jekyll, we appreciate you.
Have a good Fourth of July, and again, really, you know, the mission statement you got there, the pledge, you know, it takes I'm gonna tell you it's older, and but it takes a neighborhood to raise a family. Back when most of us were young, yes, we had families, but the neighborhood, everybody on the street raised you. And I still can't figure this out. We didn't have cell phones back then. How can I be 4 miles away, get into mischief, by the time I get home, everybody knows? I don't know how that works. It's baffles me, but it's nice to see everybody come together to try to manage. How do we build respectfully? But how do we also respect the nature, you know, and how do we balance that? I said it's a balancing act. Can we stop it? Can we stop the growth? I don't think we can, but I think we can slow it down. You know, the road is 17 is a racetrack. It is nighttime. They think that's just a green light to speed. During the day, it's just congestion, sun, people just not paying attention. Between our traffic and the road guys, we're doing a pretty good job trying to tamp it. So again, if there's any questions, concerns, complaints, please make sure you let us know, and we'll address them immediately. Or we'll do a follow up and try to get you the answers you need. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. All right, our great friends of the Charleston County Sheriff's Office, is the Alton Caldwell Fire Department represented tonight? If they were here, I'm sure they'd say something about fireworks and being careful in this drought. And
Just a side note, so I do both. So when I'm not in this, I do play fireman. I don't know why. I don't get enough accident, but on the fire side, if you're gonna do fireworks, make sure it's an area where you're lighting them, make sure it's dry, gravel, whatever. And make sure you have a water source readily available. Garden hoses are pretty good, so if you're doing something, make sure you have a water source that you can immediately either stop it out or put water on it so it doesn't spread. And it's pretty dry out there. We walked the forest 2 weekends ago for about 8 hours doing some search and rescue. Some damp, the majority was dry. Just be careful, make sure you have a water source. And don't shoot them at each other.
all right, we wrapped up those. At the time in our meeting where we have we welcome public comments, and I know that Ms. Lilybell Clinton had signed up. Do we have anybody else signed up, Peter?
Yes, I just want to confirm, Ms. Fatima Hargrove, do you have a public comment? Okay. Mr. Ravenel, you want to speak? Ms. Susan Costa, you going to speak for public comments? And Mr. Yolo Simmons, are you going to speak for public comments? No. So you have Ms. Roby, you know, speaking, and Ms. Susan Costa.
Can we turn on that microphone, Kevin?
Is that microphone on? Can you see down?
I'm here tonight to ask the town for some help. Because I'm going through so much. Not only from the neighborhood behind, from the police, and to. You know, a lot of things they said and make a report is not true. I don't know why, but way back, we had police running, they'll come out and sell a dispute without and make people shake hand afterwards. But now these police wanna come up when you call them, and you call them, but they're going back to their buddy house back there, and then they have a plan what they going come back and tell me. This guy, Jonathan Sperry, he moved on City Road 2018. And my grandson had 2 acres side by side. I have 2 acres side by side, and he has the third 2 acres side by side. And he used them to our property to get the his. And we didn't mind that. But I didn't know he was good friend to be like he is. There's a lot going on back there. Policemen don't never come around and check and see them things. CB Road is overtaken with drought. These young children just dying from drought. They put up this thing is snot in your nose when they have the overdose. That's costing taxpayers money. Why can't the policemen then do their job and put a stop to the one who making and cooking these drugs? I speak with someone from City Road called me last night and she said, you keep her sick too. The drugs they have right down the City Road, cooking it and all that, and got she's sick. And I know he got me sick. Before he came on City Road, I was in perfect shape. Right now, I'm on 4 heart medicine, 3 blood pressure medicine, and stress medicine, and it's just too much for, I'm 87 years old. It's just too much for anybody go through. Last Thursday night, well, he was doing this for a while now, when, we close on a Friday. He will start on Thursday night. And he's a night vampire or something, cause he always do dirt in the nighttime. And he'll come on my property. I have pictures showing what my property was, how he looked before he moved back there. Right now, if I have 5 or 6 trees on my property, that's all I have. Thursday night on, he came out there and with a bulldozer, he pulled the pine trees there was inside the easement. He had a big space, straight road goes to his house. He come over the road and he bulldoze all the sand and he'll take it back on his property. And then he take, I had a tree plant by my grandson, Kaplan. Before he come down there, and he pulled that up and take it back on his property. When he pulled up the pine trees, he carried on his property. We had a beautiful palmetto tree, and then going to go and travel City Road, they probably see the one was most to the highway. He just take the bulldozer and break it up. If you don't believe me, ride the City Road and you'll see how he break it up. My grandson had a camera on his property on a post. He'd break that up with the bulldozer. That's where the camera was at. And says he get.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah. And he just shoot over my house up till I had to get somebody to come and fix the holes. I didn't know some of the room was leaking until I went upstairs and saw the holes. The spot in the ceiling where the bullet hole went through my tent. I had 30 pieces of tin when I told you, but I was gonna get somebody to build shed to put all my stuff in right to lock it up. It all gone to just 4 pieces there. The side of my fence would turn to the easement. It breaks down. You can't, they take the bulldozer and put them over my fence when I'm not home. The people in the community be watching and telling him when I'm not home. I have policemen be watching me when I go to the church in McCarterville. They will watch me when I go to the school in Buffalo. They will be watching me and be sure they'll come and drive by my car. But be sure that's me. when I get back home, somebody done breaking my house. You could come and look at my doors, so they run thing in there, got lost screws up. I go into something on that city road, when you call the policeman, instead of they tell him he wrong to come on people else's property and do something like that. He don't own the easement owned by me and Gerard. We let him know through that. The police will say that's that man property. So I wanna know, how come he could come on and own property between our property? When he had his 2 acres back there. I had my property surveyed 5 times. Every time I survey my property, him or his mother will move the property line back up in my property. Then when he first met came down then, he put up a board fence where his property stopped at. Then after that, he put sand on the outside of the board fence on my property. He put up private property sign, no trespass, in the middle of the easement, stopping me from having access to go to my property. I got a big old tree in the middle of my field back there, in the middle of my property, in the field. When I got home, he come and live up, got way up there, lived way up high up there. And he ruined my book tree. That's, I can write a book, what he does to me, and I don't get no help from the police one, and I call 4 of the council member. I didn't call Mr. Bushy, I called your mother, but I didn't have your number, I had it, but I got lost it. And neither one of them returned my call back yet. When y'all start the meeting, y'all said liberty and justice for all. And we's not getting it, and it's not right. I don't care what color anybody is. That's the way God intended to be, but if you cut anybody, it bleeds red blood. That's the way God intended that. And we might don't like it, but we all is God's children. We supposed to be sisters and brothers no matter what color he is. And he put us there to help each other and love each other. And do what please in God's eyes. But anybody swear on a book, a Bible, said they're going to uphold the law and they don't uphold it. God said high and look low, nothing but God's eyes. He see everything, and it's coming back to them. Anytime you take advantage of people, it's coming back to you, and you're coming back in a weird way to hurt you, and you will see what happened in your life and your family, and then you will be next. But I need some help. If y'all wanna come, I'm at 5737 City Road. Y'all feel free to come anytime and see what I'm telling y'all about. All my trees them gone off my property, cut the bush where they can see when anybody coming back there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Whitman.
You're welcome.
I did go by Ms. Whitman's house and sat with her on the porch, and the easement that she's talking about has been cleared, it was roughly done. And it did seem to me, just looking at it, that there was that there were unnecessarily damaged trees, that I know the palmetto tree you're talking about, why do you have to do that, it was nowhere near the road. We'll take this up and see what we can do, like we've talked, I told you everything we can try. But your voice has.
5737.
Yeah, so that was Ms. Lee Mills from 5737 CD Road. Mr. Ravenel, did you? You signed up to speak? No?
Miss Lily Bill and Miss Lily Cox.
Okay, Ms. Cox, are you
Yes,
ready?
yes, thank you. Susan Cox, 629 Rudder Lane. I'm gonna be asking questions. I know all of the answers, but just things that occur to citizens as we look through agendas and other things that go on in town. I would love it if in the administrative report, when it comes out in the agendas, that there's some dates included in this. There was a notice sent, engineering report for the one when was it received? It's hard to keep up with anything if there are not dates. You guys may get them, we do not. And, it would be nice. Know how long security cameras at the park have not worked, but we have been paying for them. I mean, dates and, other factors like that would help all of us hold people accountable where necessary. And I know some folks over in Pamlico. I understand there was a letter that was sent to their HOA president. This is what I've been told about the drought, and please don't irrigate. And the people that I know have that information has not been disseminated. So hopefully there might be a better way to make that clear to people, because obviously it affects us all. As a taxpaying citizen, newly taxpaying citizen, I would prefer very much that instead of focusing, well, it was a very nice idea on an appreciation day, that the town administration focus on things like getting the minutes back up that used to be on the website, so that we don't have to go to town hall or bother the staff to try to find things out that we used to just find online. So that we don't have to spend, we the citizens do not have to submit final reports and spend a lot of money to get information that used to be readily available and is no longer. Also that there would be perhaps some of the files in the planning department better organized, so that again, doesn't cost us a lot of money if we have to submit a final report to get some information. So that would be my wish for the town administration's focus. I don't need to be told I'm appreciated, and people serve on these commissions and boards because they care about the town. So while it's a nice thing, I personally prefer the time we spent in other endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cox. Loud and clear. The disagree about clear. Ms. Louisville, where do you go to church? Did you say McClellanville? Did you say you go to church at McClellanville?
I do visit down there once a week.
I can hear it. I'll ask you later. The all right, so let's see. Pass the public comment. Report from town departments, boards and commissions. We'll start with Municipal Park Foundation Board. I believe that Ms. White has submitted a letter to be read. Is that right, Ms. Watkins?
Yes, sir. So the park board has multiple projects it's currently working on a special event application and consent to legal, redline and return to the board for approval. We will be voting on this at our July meeting. We have gathered quotes for the security update at entrances 2 and 3. That is now the event entrance and the north entrance, I believe, when they name them. This will be voted on the July meeting. We are also working on additional park signage on Door Road. We are working with the town administrator to prepare an ordinance for commercial use on public property. It is my understanding that the $250 application fee for the Dark Sky Park has been submitted. And I see the council is voting on the Dark Sky Community application fee tonight. Thank you for your support in this endeavor. There are stringent guidelines regarding our acceptance. And the park board is diligently studying and working on this. We will be voting on chair, vice chair, and establishing rules and procedures at our July meeting. Lastly, we held a park service event on June 13th. It was hot and bugs were out, and we got benches put together. I would like to personally thank the board for showing up on a hot Saturday morning and volunteering to improve our park. In addition to present to the present park board members, I would like to thank citizens Gary Freeman, Ty Vendel, Tucker Blythe, and our town administrator for showing up and helping us. 2026 is the year of the park. Happy 4th of July, Ashley.
Year of the park, is it like the year of the park for real, or is it like the year of the park for us?
We're the year of the park for us.
Love it. Year of the park. Big of the park. Any was Mr. Olson here?
I have one more thing that I should be honest with you.
You can't do that. Do some. I would. We'll talk about it. Have you come back up because of the. Sorry. Let's see. Planning. Does Mr. O'Hara have something for you? Planning department.
Good evening, I do. You'll see in your attached staff report, that was prepared on June 25th, 2026. That the board is zoning appeal to set the meet this next Monday, July 6th at 6 P M. The BZA will meet to primarily appoint a new chair and vice chair and adopt rules and procedures as prescribed in the ordinance. There are no current appeal variances or special exceptions to be heard at that meeting. The planning commission met on Monday, June 8th. The planning commission has been working on zoning districts as previously mentioned. A version of that is attached in your packet tonight. Those are residential zoning districts as recommended by the comprehensive plan, future land use map. As proposed, there is one that would be slightly under some of the recommendations in the comp plan and contradictory to recent ordinances passed. Planning commission is strictly looking for feedback on this before further steps and efforts are made on them to avoid this set. Other than that, planning commission will meet on July 13th to take up ordinances 2026-16, which is the increase in lot size in the residential zoning district. 2026-17, or excuse me, I might have those wrong. I think 2026-17 is the residential zoning district. 2026-18 is the increased lot size at ag zoning district. And then ordinance 2026-19 is the second ordinance that has public hearings tonight. Those will all be heard before planning commission at the June 13th meeting. Planning department, we issued 7 zoning permits from June 1st to June 25th. Planning department is making preparations to be transitioning from GoGov to another software. This software will have more public facing mapping, where interested citizens can interact and view approvals issued by the town. Once the platform is live, the planning department will host a workshop here at this building, with demonstration for members of the community and contractors alike to learn how to work that software. Additionally, a staff outlined this need in the planning department overview, which is attached in your packet, which was also made available to the public. Other needs and areas of improvement have been identified in this report. The planning department is looking to satisfy or resolve these items to ensure the planning department is prepared and ready to handle the influx of new residents and current residents alike. With limited staff, increasing the efficiency and accessibility of resources will be a much needed improvement, not only for staff, but also for the general public. And for those who interface with the department. The planning department staff requests the town council review the report and provide feedback to staff. Staff will prepare to also propose ordinances in conjunction with some of the items in that report. And I yield my time for any questions.
Looks comprehensive to me, Dan. I think I understand everything here. I've got no questions about the planning board. All right, well done. Short, concise. Accurate. So then, we're gonna bring us to item C on the back of page 1, that's housing status update.
Yes, their staff are organizing the housing applications, which have taken longer than originally anticipated. We will be meeting with Charleston County on July 7th at 3 o'clock to discuss the status of outstanding projects. Here for that's for UI 22 and UI 23. The formal report will be at the August town council meeting.
July 7th at 3 P.M.
Yes, sir.
at Town Hall.
It'll be a virtual meeting with the county officials and myself.
All right, any questions from housing council? All right, the hot topic, on the water. So it looks like we've requested an additional workshop with the Rural Water Association regarding the rate study. Do we have a date on that, or is there? We just requesting when it was that.
We're requesting from council a couple of dates that we can send to our water association to schedule for just a rate study. So that way we can get it on both the Brandon and Abernathy.
All right, and we have don't we have a special meeting already called?
Yes.
That special call meeting on July 15th will also have HM Northcutt, our water operator. Nikki Seabrook, our water engineer, Brandon Abernathy will be there. We'll also have a water consultant, Ron Lycroft. at July 15th at 6 o'clock, and that was to discuss the water system as a whole.
And that's July 15th.
Yes, sir.
And at 6. I don't know what the, like, as long as we're committed to doing something that day and it's water related, I don't know if it could be like that, instead of losing a whole nother day. Like we could give, is it Mr. Abernathy that's giving us our rates?
Yes, sir.
I wonder if we could figure out a way to either do the other water work we need to do and then have them talk about rates afterwards. Before something. What do y'all think about that?
Or it.
Yes.
Yes, I'm very.
Y'all wanna tag it on to the end, or meet at 5 or something, get them a limit for a certain amount of time?
I think we asked him what his availability is. And we already have a meeting. Can he, does he need to come at 6 or does he need to come?
Right. Yeah, can we communicate with Mr. Abernathy and ask him what, if he could give us a rate, something specific, what works best for him on that, on the day he's already committed to be here.
Yes, sir.
It's a great idea. That's a good one. All right, so if you guys recall at our last meeting, we had a discussion on South Carolina Rural, Water Association, is that right? On SCRIA.
So South Carolina Rural Infrastructure Association.
Infrastructure Association, but it was about the water and an application to get a complex water study done, and that's one of the things we're doing. But we changed their, we changed the wording in their document to request to request the water. What's the update on that, Tom?
They said that it was fine, and I submitted the complete application, and I'm waiting to hear back.
All right, so we've submitted an application, we changed the application. So that we felt more comfortable with it, and they received that change and accepted it when the application was. But that's one of the proactive things we're doing with the water, is like trying to figure out what's going on with the water. And that will also allow us at the end of their study, and once they figure out what we're doing, how we're doing, what we need to do, what our potential is, that does allow us, some access to a pretty big bucket of money. I think it's a couple of $1 million. Is that correct?
Upwards of $2 million, yes, sir.
Upwards of $2 million, and so information, money, attention, a little bit of give a damn, and I think we can get some water problems solved. Let's see that, any comments or anything further on the update on the South Carolina Rural Infrastructure Association VIP application? All right, update on drought conditions. You have an update on drought conditions?
We're still currently experiencing an extreme drought condition in our area. We're talking with our water operator that we put in our update that's on June 16th. It said that our peak hours were from 4:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Those are where we see our highest consumption. We're still working with our water operator to see what we can do to reduce the hydrogen sulfide smell.
So that, what are those windows again, 4:30 a.m.?
4:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And then from 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So essentially when people are getting up to get to work, and then when you're coming home.
Right, okay.
And the irrigation system and to reduce the flow also came from our water operator, as that is the source for the highest consumption. It's not just affecting our area, it's affecting everywhere else. And because we are using water at a higher rate, we are combating the hydrogen sulfide small currently. And so we're trying to use chlorine and then also salt to soften the water. We've ordered more chlorine from our water operator, and so we're just trying to see what we can find a better solution at this time.
And that's the update on drought conditions.
Yes, sir.
I did talk to Mickey, I talked to the engineer, the guy that designed the water system, and he's like Einstein of water. And there's some things we can do to combat sulfur that we are doing. Like hydrogen peroxide and ozone and what they call stripping the water, which just means. Let it breathe, like roll it downhill, aerate it, and we do have a big meeting on water coming up, right, we can move towards some solution. Let's see, number 13, county administrator report, unfinished business items, take it away.
So as I stated at the June 18th town council special call meeting, we did receive drawings for the ADA ramp. We're still working with the contractor to come back and finish the project. We'll continue to follow up and give an exact date when that ramp is going to be completed. We're also still waiting on the inspection report that I noted at that last meeting from Charleston County, and we'll provide an update as soon as I receive it. Any questions?
Anybody got anything on the ramp?
Who's your contractor?
Needs. See.
It's like heat siding or something like that, so
The concierge service. We've used them before on other projects within the town.
So what's new? Okay, we can get it finished.
I do not have an update for that, sir.
Are we still committed to a wooden ramp?
I'm not sure what I don't think Mr. Meeks can communicate and ask earlier too, I think let's talk about it, I mean, it can't continue to be like it is, we can't just sit out there like it is, we gotta at least say like, we gotta. You know, like give Mr. Meeks some sort of direction. And either tell them to, you know, perform by such and such a date or hire somebody that will. You know, there's some action needs to be taken, like the sedentary, what we're doing now, obviously. Right, what do you have your hand on?
Are we still committed to this wooden ramp? Because we can buy one already made and have it installed.
Yeah, it seemed like the
And
wooden
they are
ramp was
ADA
like,
compliant.
wooden ramp was like $3,000 and the aluminum one was like 9 to 12.
Yeah, 12, 15.
Yeah,
Won't have to be sanded or stained.
Well, how much is the middle ramp?
it was expensive, it was like 9,000 to 12,000, something like that, last time I looked at it, that's been months ago, I thought we were just gonna nail it, I thought this ramp was gonna be like. Done and done, but we're still talking about. I haven't looked at the minutes, we can look back at the minutes and see if there's any wiggle room on some other kind of ramp, if that's the way we're going, I think. In the meantime. Let's reach out to Mr. Mead and see where we are on this priority list, please. And if he fails to respond, I think we give him an appropriate amount of time before we start looking for other contractors.
How much are you worried about investing in that ramp?
We paid him like approximately $0.
$0.
Yeah, and I think that is probably part of the problem. Like it's 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 a long story with the brand, let's get in touch with Steve. And see if he's willing to please the drawing, engineer drawing, if not, let's get on down the road, try to know what we'll do. Please, all right, tell us about security cameras, that's a plus here at town hall.
So we have brand new security cameras installed from Coastal Burglar Alarm. We received. So they have replaced all of the cameras that were on the town hall site. They were installed by Coastal Burglar Alarm. They'll also be monitoring the cameras as well, so if we do have an incident, they are our security system. So we are tied in with them, and they're installing and working fabulously. They also installed a brand new doorbells. We have one on the back door and we have one on the front door. And the other new cameras that were installed were at both ends of the hallway, so now we have the full scope of the hallway that we can see if there is ever an incident. And we are still working with T-Mobile. We'll also reach out to Coastal Burglar Alarm to see if we can't get the cameras at the park fully operational.
Yeah, coastal burglar alarm was here like Johnny on the spot. They also installed security lights inside. Sometimes I come in early and it's dark outside, and I walk in, like just this last time, I came to sign checks and lights came on. And I turned the corner and more lights came on. That's pretty cool. Let's see if they can help us at the park. It seems like T-Mobile is not satisfied with them, but coastal burglar is making the hustle. But you got any?
I would like for us to ask for a refund for T-Mobile, please. Especially if we've been documenting the troubles we've been having.
Agreed. All right, anything else on cameras and here at home? These cameras have replay on them, like if somebody comes and trashes the parking lot, we will have that on record.
Yes, and it also sends a notification for any vehicle or human that enters our parking lot from the front and then also from the side here as well. It sends a separate notification and automatically reports it.
And they see like license plate, I remember Mac had said something about license plate.
It is a little bit blurry for the license plate, but it is pretty crystal clear and type make and model.
All right, third party accounting firm,
As we met earlier, we have hired CKH Group LLC. We're very excited to have them. They're actively updating our reconciliations and assisting with the 24-25 audit. And additionally, by engaging this firm, we have achieved one of the strategic priorities. We completed it. That was approved earlier this year. So we're excited, and it's also a check mark on some of the deficiencies that have been noted in our audit. It's an extra layer to ensure that we are getting the necessary checks and balances with the money.
very good. I think if you watch the Postal Courier, you'll see some reporting on rural municipalities and their lack of audits. I think you'll see that pretty soon coming up if you watch what coming out in the newspaper, and I was I'm happy that when I got here, we were 2 audits behind, 3 audits behind, now we're only 1 audit behind, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's good. We gotta have these checks and balances. We gotta be transparent. We gotta demonstrate that we're taking care of the people's money. Let's see, that brings us to new business, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Emergency Preparedness Day, what tell us about?
So we had one last year back in September, for Emergency Preparedness Day, it's at Berkeley Electric. This year, we've been partnering with the town of McCullenville and Allendale Fire Department. And we'll be having it in McCullenville this year on Wednesday, August 19th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at 711 15th Street. This will be in preparation for hurricane season, so they'll have emergency information related to your zones. We also have in the back the Charleston County Hurricane Guides. If you do not have one, I highly suggest that you take one. We will be also delivering them to the CV outpost and also the senior center, so we'll have multiple locations for residents to be able to pick up those hurricane guides to know your zone. We also have QR codes. We'll also post them at the post office, here at Town Hall and at the senior center and the CV outpost. When you download that QR code, it is our evacuation route from Town Hall and using Highway 45. That actually was designed by our planner, Daniel O'Hara, as we are preparing for hurricane season, because the hurricane guides only detail where you need to go. We thought that it'd be beneficial to have a virtual map. So I'd like to give kudos to him. Additionally, if he was not registered for emergency notifications from the town, it's through the Discover Allendale app. We have QR codes here and staff are willing to assist you in registering for that. That will be one of the primary emergency notifications that you will get from the town. They also are going to be coming out with receiving notifications through our app that immediately come from FEMA or other emergency responders. So if it's delayed from us, you'll get more information from the federal level and then also from the local level as well. They're not anticipating it to be as active, but if anybody knows this area, if it's headed towards Charleston, it'll hit Bulls Bay, if it's gonna hit Bulls Bay, it's gonna hit Georgetown. We're gonna see some sort of remnants from that. And so I highly encourage, we'll have this information as well at the emergency preparedness day as well.
This is pretty, I went to the one last year and it's kind of a community thing, where they have the response vehicle set up and all of that. I think I've mentioned this before, but I don't know how you feel about this, but I think it would be very helpful to have a briefing with council or a meeting with Charleston County Emergency Response to understand. I'd like to have a better understanding of the response procedure, just to know, it'd be better informed to know how I can better help people in our community if that happens.
There's a lot to know.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, we had a meeting with the Charleston County Emergency Management on, the 29th, this last week. They came here, we sat with, there were like 5 of them, but right 5 or 6.
Yeah, so the Charleston County Emergency Management has been meeting with the mayors of local municipalities in preparation for hurricane season, for the cadence of what Charleston County Emergency Services can do, when if they have any questions. If the mayor had any questions of the county, they also had their a representative from Public Works. They had a representative from the resiliency effort. And they also had fire department as well. And then their communications director. So it was mainly in an emergency situation, the incident commander who is able to list out the state of emergency or doing that sort of cadence does fall on powers of the mayor. I also assist with coordinating with the Charleston County calls and inform the mayor of cadences if he's not able to attend. We, with Alabama McConnell Fire Department and Town of McConnell, we created our own emergency operations center so that we are all combining our resources to help our residents. And with that, we have coordination with the sheriff's department to ensure that they have different stations set up. Public Works to ensure that we've got chainsaws set up at various locations. More robust.
we don't have to go to
emergency
the whole
operations.
thing
Oh,
right now. Perhaps you and I can get together and you can brief me on that and perhaps there's a trick, yeah. on that.
There's a gun.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a lot.
Hey, this is a Tequila Big, the town of Volendale back to school event.
This is a full staff effort as one of the strategic priorities, since it's a back to school event, will be hosted on Saturday, August 8th here in 3 to 6. We are accepting donations, if you would like to donate any school supplies, clothes, we're looking at as the council will discuss during the budget retreat. Potentially seeing if we can get some haircuts, so people need to get their haircut right before they go to school. They'd be able to get it here. We're also gonna reach out to local partners as well, say they will be able to donate supplies, clothes. And we might have some food and stuff. It's going to be rather fun to create a flyer that we will be posting shortly. On our website, so if you, and at other locations as well, so. We're very excited to start bringing back this event.
Very worthwhile, like it. And I think that, I think it's good to be together with everybody. So now that one of the problems with not having our audits current is that we were not available for assistance money from the state, county, the federal government. But now that we do have our audits current enough, we're available for grant opportunities. Could you tell us about the grant opportunities with the generators?
Yes, the first opportunity that we're going to be working with is the Rural Water Association has on deck to install generators at both plant 1 and plant 2. We currently do not have generators, so when we do have an emergency situation, we have to request to have a generator on site, so that way we don't lose water service for the town. So that is an active application that we're working on, and I'll be meeting with our representative next week to get that application up and running.
And that's also Mr. Abernathy.
Yes.
All right, let's consider a proposed resolution. I think the idea is that, we have people on boards and all of our boards are voluntary, not just the BZA, the planning and the park, but also committees we have, like the wetlands committee, for example. Let's, I guess introduce the concept of the proposed resolution.
Yeah, so I think this is Ms. White, because this is also a way to have more community engagement and to thank all of our volunteers for their hard work and dedication to them. I think that this is an excellent idea. A lot of other municipalities do have an appreciation day. And it also encourages more members of the community to join us. There's more community buy-in. So yeah, just take it ahead.
Well, I did a short, it'll be short and sweet. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I would like to respectfully present this resolution for your consideration that's drafted in your packet. Over the past 4 years, I've had the privilege of serving as a secretary for most of the town's boards and commissions. And I've come to realize that many of our volunteer members quietly complete their terms without ever being formally recognized for their service. This resolution establishes an annual boards, commissions, committees, and subcommittees appreciation day to acknowledge the time, dedication, expertise that these volunteers contribute to the town of Wallendale. I hope you will consider adopting this resolution as a meaningful way to say thank you to those who serve our community. I have been the board secretary for the majority of the boards here in the town for the last 4 years, and it just does not feel right to at the end of their terms, just have folks just feeling away without the acknowledgement of their time and consideration. So I just ask that you guys would please just consider this. It's in draft form, you guys have it. We can make amendments to it, but I think it would fall in line with some of our goals that we have for civic engagement in our town. And that's all.
Any comments on the resolution?
My only recommendation is to do it the month of June, because that's when the funds normally end. And the new folks are coming in July, so that would be a nice send off. To anyone who's not recurring.
Any comments? What's the resolution, like what are you proposing, then we have a.
Well, and then really it would be, we can do the appreciation day, we can have appreciation certificates for end of service. Just some sort of acknowledgement. It doesn't have to be anything super large, but when individuals, especially the individuals that we have on our boards, especially now, who have this built-in expertise and they spend a lot of time going through work for you guys, and so the boards are appointed, so they're working for council and in turn working for the town. So I just believe that they deserve those accolades.
I couldn't agree more. I think it is about deciding how to do it, whether it's a certificate or like every third Saturday, like quarter or something, have some kind of gathering, okay, or whatever, but the idea that we haven't been doing it is a little, I don't quite understand that we haven't been doing it. Volunteers are a measure of our excellence. The idea that we don't have the Southern hospitality say thank you is a little beyond the pale for me. Like I can't believe we haven't been doing, like we need to do a posture strategy. You know, there are a lot of people like that.
I believe we could do it. I just think that they deserve
Something from the council or or something, because often when you're volunteering, I've spent a lot of my life volunteering. Thank you is what you get, you know, and learn to appreciate that. Thank you, it means a lot. And I do think we need to find out the appropriate way to say them. So good looking out. Feels like an oversight. It's been recognized. So I guess we'll work to figure out what the demonstration of our gratitude is to the people who are willing to spend every time when they're executed.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't think is this an action item?
Well, I have it in draft form in the packets. We still need to add a date and a time and adjust some things, so maybe for August. If you guys want to take the month to
Yeah, let's see it as an action item on the agenda for August. First Thursday. All right, so any further discussion on this other hospitality resolution? Yeah. The kindness, ideas, let's see, council report, Ms. Gasper.
I just wanted to suggest the idea that we might want to engage a human resource consultant. I'm not proposing a position, you know, I thought this is more that, I talked a couple of you back. I just feel like we have some challenging issues to deal with. And I think that I would like to know that we're doing everything we can to provide as a positive working environment here so we can attract the best people. And I think having some professional, we all supervise and manage and hire people in our work in some capacity. I think that some professional guidance in the form of a consultant would be really beneficial in terms of establishing some hiring procedures and helping with reviews and being an objective voice if there's an issue that can't be resolved in-house and helping us create an environment where we can keep good and talented people and not burn them out and attract good and talented people. So I throw that out for consideration. I think Paul had someone who knew that he thought might be a fit, and I've actually talked to a couple of people that I've been referred to because I'm looking for some support in my organization that I thought might be a good fit for us as well, so. I didn't put it in the form of an action item, but perhaps to get proposals.
Good idea, let's talk about it. So Ronnie, you said you've seen 5 administrators, 4 administrators, like a bunch of administrators. I know we've been through like the kids and now we've been through the adult clerk and we've been through a lot. And and we do have a history of human resource need, I think. I think Grace's idea is demonstrating respect to the employees that we have, human resources. Nothing I do very well, obviously, I'm happy to have somebody else take care of that. What do you think, Paul?
Soon after I came on board, we had Heather. What's her company's name? Not go.
That's just your got your days.
Hmm?
That was not Big Marla. She didn't come to do human resources, she was doing an assessment.
Right, but her company came and did just kind of an assessment of who's doing what. Kind of laid out a org chart. Kind of the beginnings of some things, now, and as I recall, when I talked to you, Grace, I told you that Wendy is very strong in this area. I can only look at this from an overarching leader manager role. Is this HR or is this just strategic leadership? I don't know, but we had, and Heather's organization, who was the young lady that came in and helped us. But anyway, we had a couple of years ago, an organization come in and help us understand who's doing what and how that might be improved. And so when I talked to you, I kind of envision kind of doing another round of that type of thing.
Yeah.
But we have, there's an organization that we've used in the past that, has already has laid some groundwork and we can hit the ground running.
So did they create a document that still exists?
Do you have a copy of it? All of you have a copy of it? I emailed it to you.
Where is the copy of it?
In your email.
When did that?
I've sent it to each one.
Today?
No, Weeks ago, months,
Thanks.
because you asked me for it and I sent it to you and Grace.
So speaking to this.
But what Paul is talking about is not what you're talking about. We are talking about apples and oranges.
Yeah, I'm talking about perhaps someone who can build an ongoing relationship with us and not, again, not a full-time position, but someone that we have a relationship with that can check in with the staff, you know, be an objective voice and say, how's it going, to help things help us keep things moving forward. With reviews and those sorts of things, and we, you know, I know there are 7 of us, and to help sort of funnel our input back to the staff and vice versa, I think would be really helpful.
So is that the payroll company? I mean, they have these services available. That's kind of like, okay, hey. And then next quarter, we need to do this review, this review, this review. And have these tasks that need to be addressed. And it kind of brings us to task.
I think that, like, what you were saying, Paul, about the document that already exists, that if you close 1%. It's important information. For someone that is going to do the HR stuff. Yeah.
Well, but let's be clear, that stuff's already been, it's already been given to Catherine. And so what they did was they did a staff assessment, they updated our employee handbook and all those things, which are HR tasks. And those have already been done. What we're talking about here is something different. We're talking about human resource support. That's not what we did.
Yeah, I get that, but what I'm saying is whoever, I think human resource, I don't think it's gonna be a hard time getting 4 votes on getting a staff resource that is human resource. Somebody's got a problem, that's my go-to.
Yeah.
If there's not, like, a resolution needs to be done, or something in charge of that, that isn't one of us, or also are currently on staff. What I'm saying is the document that has been created, we will hand to that team and say, here's who we are, and if it's on the logos, if it's still relevant.
We just voted on, did we not, our employee handbook?
We did in May 2026, the organizational chart.
Of course, source of information for whoever does the HR.
So what happened?
We're not starting from scratch. We got, you know, a lot of policies and procedures I'm talking about more of a helping to manage people.
Why did we not implement the HR piece with our payroll?
It was when we previously discussed this with the council, it was not taken as a full vote with an action item. We kept discussing the item, but we can go back and get an updated pricing. There are different HR specialists, which will do another employee handbook and trainings. For payroll, Paychex does offer that.
So this is one of those things that I talk about when we talk about it and we don't take action on it. So a year and a half ago, during our interim, you've been here a year.
Year and a half.
Yeah, so during your interim, when it was Rebecca, I had the call with for HR, for our payroll company, and they gave us a proposal, and I gave it to Catherine, and we've been waiting on council to vote on it for a year and a half. So that's why we don't have HR support right now, so it's still, the buck still falls with us. So if we could add that proposal, maybe send it to council for review and have that as an action item for August, I think it's a good place to start. And then we can determine where we need, basically what you're talking about, kind of like a coach.
Yeah.
But that what we need for the payroll is, if someone has a complaint, they call that person. Then it's not Catherine, it's not one of us, and that way that follows the HR protocols.
I think it's a great idea to put that on August, if you get that figured out, that's like, it seems to be recurring. It was a very recognized cycle where. Yeah, like you're saying, Wendy, where it comes up and a year and a half later, nothing's done, still. Let's stop doing that.
Please,
We make a resolution. and
we make a resolution.
Let's do business.
So if entertaining a variety of proposals in August.
Yes, I think, yes, we should have it as an action item on the August agenda. There's, what I'm hearing is that our current payroll, like I usually report, but our current payroll has.
Paychecks. They have, they all the payrolls.
So HR, I don't know if that's.
No, like, yeah, no, I think I'm thinking more of some like the human side of it rather than just the procedural side of it. I feel like we've got, we're in a better place than the procedural side of it with the manuals and all of this.
But they have a piece, and I might be remembering wrong, where they can help Catherine, if she's having to do like a performance improvement plan. Like if, like things like that, where if she writes someone up and they've got a complaint, they can go through that. You see what I mean? So is it, I mean, coaching is something different that a lot of municipalities don't offer.
If I'm a town employee, let's say I'm in charge of maintenance, right? And I've got to cut the grass and take the HVAC units out of windows or whatever. Finish the ramp or whatever, fix the playground. And I have a dispute with another employee or a citizen of the town. Who do I go to?
You would go to that HR person.
I would go to the paychecks, HR, community.
I mean, I think you probably would, they would go to Catherine because they report to her. But if she says, oh, that's not a big deal, you're overreacting, then they would go to the HR person, and we would have an HR person assigned to our, now, they're assigned to multiple accounts, so you may have to leave a message and they'll call you back, but you do have a live person.
On the phone or.
You can get, or they think they have a chat feature or something, but
Yeah, I'm thinking like a human being.
Yeah.
That come to your office.
they probably can.
Well, we'll look at the
Yeah.
options. Alright, so we all, it sounds like we're pretty much all agreed that an HR resource is a good thing. Anybody?
And but recognize, we're not saying, gee whiz, we have, how many employees do we have? 4?
Including myself, 5.
Okay, we have 5 employees, we need an HR director.
No.
No, we need somebody to give us HR advice. We need to share an HR director with how many other organizations.
Not a position.
And I liken this, over my career, I've been fortunate, I was a startup guy.
But it says I never do HR.
And I told my wife, I'm never gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I'm never gonna get into HR. But when we reached a point, it became time that we needed to bring an HR director into the organization. And that HR director then told, and here's a very good example. When you're building a business on a team, you have a whole lot more freedom and flexibility. And you're much less encumbered by restrictions when you have less than 50 employees. When you cross that threshold, you better be ready to have checks and balances on tops of checks and balances. So that's what an HR director does. Or somebody like we're talking about, saying, hey, you got this coming up. This is something you need to do.
HR generalist
An HR generalist,
1099
is what their title.
employee resource.
yes.
All right, good thing, yeah. So apparently it's your problems with Dawn. So my report, I'll try not to spend too much time here. I am excited for the special call meeting on July 9th, on water. And the water, I just wanted to say for the record that, we'll be talking about water in every council meeting until we figure out water.
Point of clarification there, there's some mistype on the agenda, it should be July 15th.
July 15th.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, I was trying.
like, I can't be here on that.
But on the 9th, that's when the when CKH group is coming, right?
No, that's when the wetlands committees.
Yes, CKH group is coming on night, and we also have wetlands committee too, so we've got multiple things. going on.
Well, we don't have a night, there's a special call meeting about water.
Correct.
And we've got, I think, we've got, all of our experts have confirmed they're gonna be here.
We will share it there.
Okay, great. Yes, all right, so, water, we're working on water. I had roads on here, and I'm sure that I put roads on here because it's a big deal. I do communicate with SCDOT about roads, and I do know that, roads and ditches are a special concern. We learn a lot about county roads, state roads, private roads. And, I think we should continue to work on that. That's something I do sort of behind the scenes. There's a lot that goes on here behind the scenes. That if this isn't an everyday thing, or if you're not an elected official, you have no idea. It's easy. It's easy to sit out there and look up here and go, why aren't you doing what I want you to do? It's like, seriously, you know, like nobody ever said, no, Jerry, play it like this. You know, it was like, we're doing our best as employees and elected officials. So it has to give us some grace, please. I would like to, we did meet the Charleston County Emergency Management. I mean, that's a big deal. That is a lot to know as mayors that when emergency hits, they don't just do hurricanes, they do fires and earthquakes and floods. And there's a plan out there, y'all. Like we exist somewhere in a hierarchy of who gets services and who doesn't, who gets out of here first and who has to wait. And we're out there talking to the county officials, battling for our spot on the consideration chain, and we're winning. And they're here in our office talking to us. I have never written an ordinance. And I was thinking in my romantic version of what I would like to do is that I'd like to write an ordinance, and I'd like to write one that has to do with native plants. I'd like to write one that has to do with indigenous plants, that contribute to our ecosystem, that, are not necessarily from China, that didn't co-evolve with creatures here, like, there's something you might not know. If you look for butterflies on Earth, how long, I say Google, how long have butterflies been on Earth? And you don't have to take the big number, take the more recent number after they evolved from scaled wing insects and lepidoptera moths, and you'll find something like 50 million years. Right, in that time, they co-evolved here in your backyard, with plants. That's called a host plant. That's where they lay their eggs. When their eggs hatch, that's what they do, right? In the absence of that host plant. So there could be one that looks a lot like it. It may be prettier, but they didn't co-evolve with it. And it's on the same latitude halfway around the world in China, right? That butterfly doesn't know what to do with that plant, and it doesn't know what to do with that. It's all that's being planted here because it's beautiful, but it isn't its host plant. The Chinese plant doesn't contribute in the same way here. For example, also, mature trees give off more oxygen than you can believe, and we need it for living. And the rhizosphere, the ground, the thing that makes our community healthy, it gets pretty deep. I want to keep it simple. I just want to have a simple agreement, an ordinance that says that the majority of the plants that you plant need to be native plants, they need to be indigenous, and they need to be treated, right? And so I like crepe myrtles, I like camellias, and I like azaleas, but they're not native, they're not indigenous, they don't contribute the same way as other plants do. So I was trying to keep it simple, then I talked to my friend who's an expert on the subject, and he went like blew my mind. And so I'll keep working on a plant ordinance that's consumable and not overly aggressive. Let's see, the last thing I have is I gotta call out superlative performance when I see it. And I know that we've had a lot of discussion recently about town employees and obligations and positions. We've had a lot going on in town. There's a lot that goes on here, and we have a lot of work to do. And all of it isn't all the things that go on behind the scenes, you don't know. You don't come to town hall, I don't come to town hall nearly as often this time of year, but to cut to the chase, I gotta say, Kia, you've been killing it. You have been doing such a good job. If you were a student, I would give you an A plus, but not, for any other reason than you moved it. You know, this is a hard class to make A plus. You're doing a great job in your position as clerk, and when I call you, you answer the phone, when I ask you to do something, get it to me immediately. When I need anything, I got it. I know you're handling minutes for almost all of our committees, and the planning office files are more organized than they've ever been. With no real time dedicated specifically to getting that done, you know, it's a work in progress. We'd love to figure past what one might think from the outside of then. And I know there's a lot of work to do, but kudos to you, my friend. You are superlative recognition for the work you're doing.
Thank you, Tony.
And that, yes, and that's all I got on the mayor's report. Which brings us to unfinished business. There's a long list of unfinished business, A through G. Necessary for us to cover those things, right? And then we get to number 17, which is ordinances. Ordinances for first reading. Ordinance 2026-23, an ordinance to repeal an existing plan development, C Sands Properties LLC, and then the town of all those officials on the map to change the classification of parcel identified by tax map 700-00-00-088 located on the south side of Highway 17 across from Steve Creek Road from planned development to the residential. Ordinance 2026-24, ordinance amending chapter 10 general provisions, section 10.03. Procedures for enactment of the town of Allendale to streamline the second reading amendment procedures to ordinances. That means so we don't have to do what we did tonight, we gotta read the whole thing, you can just read the following. Other business items, consideration of the dark sky community application, this is an action item. I think what we were confused the last time we had, and the record will show.
We have to vote on that first reading.
Yeah, the first thing in ordinance 17A, you went ahead and let the title, shall we call a question vote on that?
Motions.
Ordinance for first reading ordinance 2026-23, mayor, your motion.
Motion to approve.
No second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is this one we discussed in our,
To access the last.
in the executive session? Yes. And so we are going to downside that. We're reducing,
That is the ordinance is big, but yes.
and we've talked to him about it. Like he's expecting this.
The other on where.
Do we have concerns about that
I don't.
based on our conversation in executive session?
I have been concerns about it. My concerns more as I continue to think about it, it's like we're reading that, we're reading the what are the book that we heard the government found, the planning, the book. Conference plan, yeah, thanks, the comprehensive plan, reading that comprehensive plan, like survivors. Instead of taking it, you know, having a little push and wiggle. I still, as we discussed, I really don't love the idea of having people have to live on Highway 17. But it's hard for kids, it's hard for pets, and this, what we're zoning here only allows houses and septic tanks, so.
I don't wanna get sued. That's kind of where I'm at, like. I mean, I get. I'm like you, I don't wanna see more houses with driveways coming out on Suey Road, I mean. Go back to those poor people that in those houses right past Suey Outpost, they've had to put up. little lights, because you can't see their driveway at night, but then it's blinding me as I'm coming down the road. I mean, it's like an unfortunate comedy of errors, but we've not communicated this with the owner.
There's not.
Can we table this or something? Can we table this for further discussion?
Yeah, this is a policy decision you go on.
Well, we've had communication with this gentleman, though, haven't we? And what was the?
Correct. Plans were submitted to do a storage yard on both of the parcels that are subject to this PD. The PD only allows storage on one of the parcels, so those plans were rejected by Dan.
Right.
This would be, the PD is no longer vested, so this would be to bring it down to the base zoning of residential as opposed to continuing that plan.
So did he initiate this ordinance?
No, this was initiated by staff based on the discussions that we had with council.
So what would be communicated to him is. Yeah, we talked about it, we discussed it, we moved on it. And what I told you already is what we are confirming. Right? Isn't that right?
I don't know that the guy that the owner's been told that since his vesting period has run out, that he goes back to square one. I think he probably is thinking like, I can build my building and have my laydown yard at the back would be my thought. I think this idea that you can't you can't be zoned commercial, you're zoned residential, 1 house per acre, take that. I think that is what he's been, that's the message he's gonna get. Am I right about that?
That's correct.
And he's not gotten that message. Yeah.
It's not that.
Okay.
Older plan developments that's not vested, correct? So we're saying
It ran, yeah.
based on the current comprehensive plan, this is what the zoning is. But this wouldn't preclude him from coming back if he decided he still wants to do this with a plan that meets.
He would have to apply to be rezoned commercial. Because we're taking him down, he'd have to reapply. I guess my thing is like, we haven't. But we haven't communicated with him.
Correct.
I did not know when we were writing this, we weren't gonna communicate with him. I thought we were having a conversation, letting him know if in brought to council. This is the direction we were considering.
What does that change though? I mean, you might as well say, hey, this is what happened, as opposed
Do
to.
you like getting letters in the mail?
I don't really check the mail. But I think we table it and discuss it further. It seems like there's more discussion to be had.
I mean, I get it. I just felt like I just felt like we should have had a conversation. I just feel like that's always better in relationships. It's just at least.
It is, but the also intent is to change it from land development or residential, having a conversation with areas of civil risk. Because it can apply before you take the vote and he's got a pending application, you can't change it, so.
Okay.
This would trigger pending ordinance doctrine.
I'm sorry, say that again?
This would trigger the pending ordinance doctrine before an application came back.
Okay.
Is that beneficial to us?
Yes.
So go ahead and trigger that and be associated to it, trigger it,
Yes, you can always vote this down in scenario.
right? Well, that's the.
So let's go ahead and vote. Yeah.
Let's vote this up and trigger the documents that we're fully covered, and then we'll talk about it more and maybe talk about houses on 17 and other subject things and sort of. All right, so I'll hear a motion to
There's already a motion on the floor from Councilman House and Councilman Brown, seconded, is that correct? Yes. Thank you.
and what's the motion?
Motion to approve. Sorry, Steve.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, carries unanimously. Thanks for helping me out. This is gonna be all the ordinance 2026. This is the one that makes us not have to read so much to meetings. Under motion to approve the ordinance 2026, 24.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carried unanimous. All right, now, other business items. consideration of the dark sky community application, it's an action item, I think. This is what I was getting, there's a little confused. Meeting, but we were discussing the application for the park, I was confused, and came in my attention what the confusion was, and I think, Ms. Watkins, you want to get us on track here, I think we developed a paper application for the community.
Yes, so at the last meeting, you guys appropriated funds, $250 for the International Dark Sky Park. When we talked about the dark sky in general, the email communication back and forth, it was implied that it's only the one. In your agenda packets tonight, there's an email from the Dark Sky organization. And so there's two different applications. We have already completed the International Park one, what is now on the floor now is the consideration for the Dark Sky community application, so this will be all in us whole. Being a dark sky community or being considered for it, and that is an additional $250 application.
So what we need to do is, the action we need to take is, decide approving $250 spent for the dark sky community of. Everybody still want to be a dark sky community?
Yes.
All right, what's your motion about?
Motion to approve
Uh,
the fee. Are we a motion to approve paying the $250 payment for the application?
all right, there's a second.
Second.
Is there discussion? In that case, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? I carries with unanimously, happy to apply to be a dark sky community light. All right, so you'll find, if you haven't seen the application, first, Mr. Scott, is that his name?
Stop, Jones.
Jones. We want from the Board of Zoning Appeals, for our one vacancy, I looked at it, it looks like he's got, legal practice credentials to be on a BZA, he served for a number of years on a planning commission in Virginia, I believe. Can I hear a motion to?
I make a motion to nominate Scott Jones to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
A second,
Second.
all right, discussion. All right, hearing now, call the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Unanimous. Executive session, according to South Carolina Code 30-4-782 to receive legal advice concerning the annexation provisions in the town code of ordinances for the personnel matters related to the road manager. Council may take action following the executive session. Do I hear a motion that we?
So moved.
So we're gonna go into executive session, give a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, executive session. Yeah, it's not. All right, so, what do we do? Motion to leave executive session and then say that no action or anything
Yes.
was done during the work session. I draw your motion to adjourn the executive session, I guess, or leave executive session.
So moved.
Section.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, unanimous.
No motions, votes, or decisions will be during the executive session.
Very good. Ms. Helms, do you have a motion to make?
I do. I make a motion to authorize legal counsel to amend the provisions of the annexation ordinance as discussed in executive session.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, call vote, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I hear a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the vote, all in favor?
Aye.